But you've exclusively reviewed a copy of a Department of Homeland Security report regarding Afghan evacuees that says that they ran into obstacles vetting those arriving here. I got to tell you, when I heard your reporting, it wasn't surprising to me when we recall the chaos that was unfolding as people were leaving. And then, there's still people sort of that haven't been able to leave the country. So, the system was incredibly broken. But what did you learn?
Well, the Inspector General for Homeland Security, this is their independent watchdog, did a review and interviewed over 100 people to understand the vetting process over a year ago as that evacuation took place. And what it found was what it described as serious and significant deficiencies in the vetting process. I'm just going to read one section of it here. It found that Customs and Border Protection, so that's a division within Homeland Security, admitted or paroled evacuees who were not fully vetted into the United States. And it also found that Homeland Security paroled at least 2 individuals into the U.S. who posed a risk to national security and the safety of local communities. And they may have admitted or paroled other individuals of concern. So what the report found is that the system was really not sufficient to deal with the flow, and also individuals. I've worked actually on the border area of Afghanistan and Pakistan with Customs and Border Patrol agents, and what they told me at the time is that there are really 2 big obstacles. One is that it's not a country where people have ID. They don't have driver's licenses like we would here, for example. And it's a country with incredibly low literacy rates, right? So it's very hard to work with people who are unable to read and write and to try and negotiate identifying paperwork with them.
Right, and you hear stories of people needing, all sorts of different forms of paperwork that they simply don't have access to or can't get. Have you heard anything from Homeland Security in response to this, and whether or not the system has improved in any way?
Well, as part of this report, there's a section at the end where the Department of Homeland Security is able to respond to the findings of the Inspector General. And they write that they had a number of significant concerns about the conclusion of the report. Specifically, they felt it didn't adequately reflect what they call the interagency process. So that's when you have different components of the U.S. government that all have kind of an intelligence stake come together and pool all of their data to try and assess the security risk of these individuals. And Homeland Security felt that the Inspector General did not adequately take this information into account when they wrote the report.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much.
You're welcome.